UpStaged Entertainment Group, the NYC-based leader in building student performing arts competitions and championships across genres, presents UpStagedAID, the biggest college a cappella championship event in history. A cappella is a staple on college campuses with over 5,000 groups across the nation. Now, 32 of the very top-ranked groups compete head-to-head for a National Collegiate Performing Arts NCPA Championship and over $10,000 in cash for their teams and social justice charities. These teams truly represent the best of the best from the sing-off to pitch perfect, including virtually every champion of every major college a cappella championship in the last 10 years. Now, UpStaged and the NCPA presents the UpStagedAID Selection Show, where our singing 16 regional finalists will be announced, and the other 16 teams will continue in the All-American Encore Round, with the chance to still become NCPA A Cappella All-Americans, winning money for their team and charity. UpStaged Entertainment Group, empowering our world's dynamic student performers to compete like student athletes for championships, glory, and pride.
Hello, I'm your host Jordan Roll. Tonight we're going to announce the winners of Round 1 of the UpStagedAID One World Every Student Voice College A Cappella Championships. Let's get started. Here are the results in Matchup A of the New England region. From the prestigious Berklee College of Music in Boston, two-time ICCA national champions and former contestants on NBC's The Sing-Off, supporting the Lebanese Red Cross, it's Pitch Slapped. From Northeastern University in Boston, Massachusetts, competing for the Black Arts Futures Fund, the 2019 champions of the National A Cappella Convention, the resounding storm that is the Nor'easters. With 52.4% of the vote in this Beantown battle, our winner is Pitch Slapped. Moving on to Matchup B in the New England region. Competing for the NAACP Legal Defense and Educational Fund, direct from Cambridge, Massachusetts, it's Harvard University's self-proclaimed oldest and boldest all-gender a cappella group, the Harvard Opportunes. And from New Haven, Connecticut, an all-gender group that is performed everywhere from the White House to Beijing to Ecuador. Ladies and gentlemen, competing for the Connecticut Bail Fund, it's the Dukes of Yale. This Ivy League matchup was back and forth the entire competition, and with 50.7% of the vote, it's the Harvard Opportunes. Let's take a look at the results in the Northeast region. Competing for the Rochester Area Community Foundation, we have the University of Rochester in New York, an internationally recognized all-male group, the Midnight Ramblers. And all the way from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, competing for the Lebanese Red Cross, is an award-winning all-male group from Carnegie Mellon University, the Originals. With 54.6% of the vote, the Midnight Ramblers will be rambling on to the second round. And now to our second Northeast matchup. From New Jersey's Rutgers University, known to be the nation's first all-gender South Asian fusion a cappella group, competing for the Equal Justice Initiative, welcome, ROG. Hailing from Hofstra University on New York's Long Island and competing for the Long Island LGBT Community Center, this all-gender group performs everything from Radiohead to Bonnie Raitt to Ariana Grande. Please welcome Sigma Capella. This matchup was close with many lead changes, and with 50.8% of the vote, moving on, it's ROG. The Mid-Atlantic region is up. Let's meet our teams. From our nation's capital and competing for DC's Central Union Mission, the premier vocal jazz ensemble of Howard University, featured on NPR and NBC's The Sing-Off, Afro Blue. Competing for the Columbus Freedom Fund, this group is born out of Miami University in Oxford, Ohio, an all-male group with a legendary Shrek medley in their repertoire, Soul to Soul. Winning in a convincing fashion with 58.9% of the vote. From Howard University, it's Afro Blue. Our next Mid-Atlantic matchup was incredibly close. Fresh off the University of Pennsylvania's campus in Philadelphia, the South Asian a cappella group that famously performed in the film Pitch Perfect 2, supporting Black Men Heal, it's Pen Masala. And now singing in support of the National Center for Transgender Equality, a legendary all-male group founded all the way back in 1959. They've performed for U.S. presidents and on NBC's The Sing-Off, it's the Princeton Footnotes.
This matchup went down to the wire, and with an incredible comeback and 50.3% of the vote, congratulations, Pen Masala. And now for the Midwest region. Who's on deck?
All the way from the University of Wisconsin-Madison, a Cara-winning, Boca-featured all-male a cappella group competing for Freedom Incorporated, Fundamentally Sound. From the University of Michigan, Ann Arbor, this all-gender group with 16 albums under its belt is competing for the Lebanese Red Cross, Amazing Blue.
This match featured much drama and many lead changes. But in the end, with 51.1% of the vote, it's Fundamentally Sound. Now let's meet our teams from the land of Lincoln.
Straight from the University of Illinois, Urbana-Champaign, you might remember them from the a cappella reality show Sing It On. Playing for the Equal Justice Initiative, here is No Comment. From the University of Chicago and supporting Assata's Daughters, an award-winning all-gender group whose mission is to push the bounds of contemporary a cappella. Give it up for the University of Chicago Voices.
With a late comeback and 50.9% of the vote, I don't have much to say. It's No Comment. Next up, the South region. Who will stay and who will go?
From Nashville, Tennessee's Vanderbilt University, the only collegiate group to ever win the championship on NBC's The Sing-Off. Supporting the Tennessee Education Association, the one and only Melodors. And Duke University's most award-winning and oldest female a cappella group, playing for the Trevor Project, it's Out of the Blue.
Making their alumni proud, winning 54% to 46%, it's the Melodors. Our next matchup in the South was a nail-biter.
Hailing from Belmont University in Nashville, Tennessee, an all-gender group that uses their music to raise social awareness and create positive change. Supporting Mental Health America of the Mid-South, the Prismatics. From down in Harrisonburg, Virginia, an all-female group who College Magazine has called the Destiny's Child of James Madison University, competing for Happy Period, Notoriety.
This matchup was tight from the beginning, but moving on to round 2 with 51.7% of the vote, it's the Prismatics. The Southeast region is next. Who's moving on?
A hot-ticket Floridian group, an all-gender sound and skill set that packs much more than the sum of its parts. Playing for the Black Health Commission, Gestalt. Straight out of Miami, the University of Miami's premier fusion a cappella group with a diverse Western, Indian, and Spanish repertoire, competing for the Lebanese Red Cross, it's Tufan.
With 51.1% of the vote and 0% humidity to spare, give it up for Gestalt. This second Florida matchup was incredibly spicy.
From the University of Central Florida, the 2016 SoJam champions, competing for the Trevor Project, it's VoiceBox. From Florida State University, as seen on the a cappella reality show Sing It On, the award-winning all-gender group supporting For the Girls, All Night Yahtzee.
With an even closer, razor-thin margin of less than 0.5%, with 50.2% of the votes going to them, it's All Night Yahtzee. Here we go to the smoky Southwest region.
Coming in from Utah Valley University, the school's first ever all-male contemporary a cappella group, playing for the Congress of Racial Equality, it's UVU Voice Line. From way down in Austin at the University of Texas, playing for the Lebanese Red Cross, it's the prestigious South Asian fusion group, Hum.
In a very, very tight matchup, with 50.4% of the vote, moving on to the next round is Voice Line. Let's flip it over to the B-side.
From Provo, Utah's Brigham Young University, a top 5 contestant on NBC's The Sing-Off and the only collegiate group with over 20 million views on YouTube, playing for the NAACP, Vocal Point. Direct from Texas A&M University, a group dedicated to promoting a cappella through the fusion of South Asian and Western influences. Competing for the Equal Justice Initiative, please welcome Swaram.
Not nearly as tight as the A side, this team used all of its resources to garner 58.4% of the result. Give it up for Vocal Point. Last but certainly not least, let's head on over to the Wild Wild West.
Coming in from UCLA in California, a decorated group that is open for pentatonics on multiple occasions. Competing for the Lebanon Red Cross, the one and only Scattertones. Next up is Stanford University's oldest all-female group, the 2019 A Cappella Video Awards Best Female Collegiate Video runner-up, playing for the Loveland Foundation, Counterpoint.
Winning this round 1 matchup with 53.9% of the vote, it's the Scattertones. Let's go to our final matchups of the night.
Bringing the heat from the University of Arizona, an all-gender group whose signature colors are black and La Fonda turquoise. Playing on behalf of the NAACP Environmental and Climate Justice Program, welcome Amplified. All the way from the University of Oregon, an all-gender group with dozens of awards to its name, competing for Don't Shoot Portland. It's Mind the Gap.
Decided by a margin of less than 5% with 52.7% of the votes. Get loud, because it's Amplified. Thank you so much. Again, I'm Jordan Roll. We'll see you again after round 2.
Thank you for joining our UpStaged Selection Show, announcing our National Collegiate Performing Arts Singing 16 regional finalists and the other 16 teams that will continue in the All-American Encore Round, with a chance to still become NCPA A Cappella All-Americans, winning money for their team and charity. Coming soon to an UpStaged bracket near you. Vote for your favorite college DJs, comedians, and a cappella groups from high schools around the US and colleges around the world. Brought to you by UpStaged Entertainment Group, empowering our world's dynamic student performers to compete like student athletes for honor and integrity, for championships and glory.